Hi, everyone. How are you today? Happy March. I can't believe it's March already. And spring isn't far from, it's just around the corner. So that's exciting. Hopefully, we'll soon be looking forward to, those of us in the Northeast and in places that have snow, looking forward to things blossoming and blooming and all that exciting stuff of spring. I love spring. Actually, I love all the seasons. So, what I wanted to talk about today is, and this came up recently in a talk, conversation with someone, or uh, someone talking about one of their struggles, and it was the idea of worrying about what other people think of them. And this comes up a lot, actually. I think one of the things to forgive yourself about right away when you have any kind of a limiting belief, think is to remind yourself that you're not alone in that. I mean, there our limiting beliefs are usually commonly held by others, but they are beliefs, right? And they are just that, beliefs. They're not true. They're just something that we've learned in the past, and we kind of get stuck in a habit and a pattern of believing these beliefs and behaving according to those beliefs, and they kind of keep us stuck in certain ways. And right now, I have the resident office manager Izzy is here, looking for attention. So I apologize if she's talking through the session, but she likes to be part of things. It's like a little kid. As soon as I start talking, she comes here and gets right in the middle of something. So it is a common limiting belief, worrying about what others think of you. And there was a purpose, like the brain developed that way for a purpose. We mankind became part of tribes. So it didn't matter that we were part of this tribe and what others think, and we would work together and all that. So there is a certain level of importance for the brain to think about that. But what happens is can get out of control. So, it can really cycle out of control, and we can get caught up in, spinning these stories. In fact, recently I had something that happened. I made kind of a big-ish mistake. Of course, I made the mistake in my head a lot bigger than it was, but I made a noticeable mistake about something. And I brewed on that, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it really took and I'll talk about this a little later, but it took a lot of time out of my life, and in the whole scheme of things, it really didn't matter. So we can really get caught up in spinning these stories about what others are thinking of us, and we strive so hard to be like others and conform to what society expects, and in writing to what society expects and what we think society expects. So we get so caught up in trying to be what we think we should be for others, to please others, um, and worry along that line about ridicule and rejection, that if we're not good enough or we don't do this well, if we make mistakes, people are going to judge us and ridicule us and not want us to be part of the tribe, so to speak. And again, it's very common behavior, but it can get spiraling out of control. So, and what it can do is it can really box you in and make you afraid to try new things. So you stay in this really safe comfort zone, because if you don't try anything new, then you're less likely to make mistakes. So therefore, uh, less likely to be judged by others. So keep it all simple, keep it all safe, and you're going to be more likely to be out of that judgment of others. Um, and it's kind of, again, you don't grow, you just stay stuck in a place, and when you're doing that, you're actually giving away your control to others and to what others think of you, and um, you want to keep control for yourself and not give away your control to others. To be your best self, you need to maintain your own control. And in reality, often people aren't thinking what you think they're thinking. We make up these big stories. Oh my gosh, they're thinking I'm not good enough, or they're thinking I don't have a fancy enough horse, or I don't have a good enough whatever, or I'm not improving fast enough. And more often than not, is that's not what people are thinking. They're busy going about their lives. Or even if they are sometimes, watching and making opinions of you, many times they're supportive opinions. and maybe thinking, wow, that was such an improvement, and look at her trying, him or her trying to, do XYZ. And if they're not supportive, this is someone who's regularly critical of you, you don't want them in your tribe anyway, right? So if somebody's really critical of you and critical of others in general and a judgmental person, they're not someone you really want in your tribe anyway. They're not helping you out at all. So the biggest thing is to stop and think about all the precious time you're wasting when you get stuck in the cycle of worrying about what others think. You just, like I said, with my experience, I just got caught up. I remember it was about a day, maybe a day and a half. This kept pondering in my head after the mistake. Well, what does people think? But in reality, I know darn well when I got out of the cycle and just tried to use some mindfulness techniques, and the further I got away from my mistake, I realized it was people went on about their business, and that was just one little blip in their day. They didn't even think about it anymore, nor should have I. You learn from whatever mistakes you make, you learn from something, and then you move on. But I wasted a lot of precious time and energy, not the time, and then the energy and the stress that you bring to your body and stuff too when you do this is not healthy at all for you. So there's a lot of stuff that's wasted. There's a lot of negative results when you spin into this worrying about others. And to kind of get around this, you want to start developing self-awareness, and just without judgment, just notice, like, when does this happen? So what type of situations start triggering this? I'm worrying about others, and what type of behavior results because of it? What do you do in response to this worry? Do you get off your horse and put your horse away because people came in or standing by the rail? Stop doing what you're doing. What is it that you do, and what is it that brings up in you? What does it make you feel like? Just really be curious about it. Peel away the layers and notice what's going on. And again, don't be judgmental about it. Just notice it. And that's with any limiting belief or any fear or anything. Just sit with it. Don't push it away. Don't judge yourself because you have it. Just be curious about it. The more curious you get about it, the more you can kind of peel it away, and it can dissolve, and you can move forward. And then while you're doing this, think, who is it in this awareness that you want to be? Not who you should be for others, or what society expects a rider at whatever level you're at to be, or whatever level you strive to be at. Who is it you want to be? How do you want to show up on your horses? How do you want to show up with your riding? What do you want riding to do for you? What do you want to get out of it? What is it that you came to riding for? And focus on that. Focus on you and being your best self. Be you. Be unique, be authentic, and be you. And you may not be moving along as fast in your mind as what you think someone else is, but that doesn't matter. Keep working on you and how you want to approach your riding, how you want to approach your life. Be your best self at it, and you will improve, and you will start letting go of these worries, and you'll start moving out of that box of comfort and trying new things. And like I said, don't give your control away to others. Work on what you can control, right? So work on, instead of putting all your focus onto what people outside of the ring are doing, put your focus on what you're doing with your riding and work on that. Put your focus on the job at hand. And that's what you can control, right? You can control doing, certain exercises to improve your riding. You can control how you approach your riding. You control your mindset. Work on the things you can control. You can't control what anyone's thinking about you, so it really doesn't matter. What they're thinking about you, whether good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't make you you. You make you you. Your uniqueness makes you you. What others think about you have nothing to do with who you really are. So then start shifting when those things start spinning to more of a positive perspective, and create your own story out of things. Like, instead of creating this negative story, create a positive story about what you do and how you approach your riding and who you are as a rider, and do this on and off horses, right? Create the stories in a positive way. and let it be your story, not someone else's, not what someone else is thinking of you, not what you think someone else is thinking of you, but create your own story about who you truly want to show up as, and who you are. And one way to help you stay present is to focus your attention on your horse, right? And I talk about this a lot. It's part of the Unleashed Equestrian model, is focusing your attention on your horse and not so much on worrying about minutia, and your position and all that. And then that also then can turn over into worrying about what others think about what you're doing with your position and everything else and technique. Just put your attention to your horse, and what does your horse need from you? If you can bring that focus to that, open yourself up to hearing what your horse needs and adjusting things accordingly. And that will also just help you stay present with what's happening and not worrying about what people are thinking, because you're going to be working and paying attention to what's happening, right? So that's a big part of it. Just stay present and stay focused on what's going on the horse, or when you're off the horse, on something you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, not what you think others are thinking about what you're doing. And you can't change anything about what they're thinking. Like I said, most of the time they're not thinking negative things, but even if they are, you can't change that. But you can be your best self and show up in the best way possible. And that's the way you will feel comfortable to move outside of your comfort zone and keep growing. So if you can let go of what others are thinking and focus on what you're doing right now and keep working on what you're doing and be your best self, you will grow and improve and get to where you want to be, and do it without letting go of all that control to others, and being in constant state of stress and kind of anxiety. So that's just something I wanted to talk about a little bit today. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I'm going to try to be on again live a little more regularly. As you all know, I've had some health stuff going on, and all's going well, but all of a sudden a week or two goes by and I'm realizing, I got to catch up with some things. So I wanted to do this. I'll try to give you another live next week. Enjoy March. Happy March. We're getting closer, like I said, to spring. And if you have any questions or want to work with me, if you do have some issues around mindset, whether it be this, worrying about what others think, or worrying about making mistakes or anything like that, and want to go deeper on anything, certainly contact me at lisamindfulquestioning.com. I do one-on-one coaching. My packages start at like $780 and up. So that's kind of the price range. And you can choose different packages depending upon the number of sessions. So, it's a good investment. You invest a lot in other things in your riding, and this is a good invest in working on your mindset. So you can really have that well-rounded approach to your riding, and not let that, the mindset get in your way from moving forward and improving. So have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys again soon.